Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Kingdom Truth and Power podcast. It's your boy Terrence, and I want to give you guys a word of encouragement today. Well, first and foremost, let me just say this: trying to get a lot of content out there as much as I possibly can, because starting the beginning of May, I'll be entering a master's program for a master's degree in business, and so I'm going to be spending a lot of time studying, completing assignments, things like that. And I'm not exactly sure how much time I'm going to actually have to be able to record and things like that. I'm sure I will, but like I said, I just want to try to get as much content out there as possible before that time begins. But enough with that. So, like I said, I want to kind of give you guys some encouragement and really try to avoid the same mistakes, or maybe mistake, that I've been making for quite a while now. There is a YouTuber out there whose channel I believe goes by the name of Daughter, if that's how you pronounce it. It's spelled DAH:TER. And she has a video out there about when you're trying to hear the voice of God and you feel like it's your fault because you can't hear him. That video spoke volumes to me, because it has been my experience as of late, not so much in the sense of God sharing certain things with me as it relates to a lot of stuff that I may put out here on this podcast, but more so in a more personal way when I'm seeking direction or guidance. And oftentimes I feel like I hear from him when it has nothing to do with anything personally I'm seeking him for, whether it's for my family, whether it's for myself, decisions, paths in life that I may be trying to go, or I may be trying to take my family. And oftentimes I end up asking God, well, God, why is it so difficult for me to hear you? Why can't I hear you for the things that I need guidance for, when I need direction for, when I need clarity for? Why am I having such a hard time hearing you for the things that I need for myself and for my family? And in her video, she talks about this. And what's funny, and why it sticks out, and I feel like God wanted me and needed me to hear what she had to say, is because it might have been the day prior. I saw the video yesterday, and it may have been Friday. I was talking to God. Usually I take my walks, I pray, and I talk to God. And I talk to him about certain concerns that I have. And I was talking to him about this very subject. Why am I having such a hard time hearing you? I'm coming to you for guidance, for clarity, for counsel, for direction, for your leading. But it seems like I can't hear you. It seems like you're not speaking to me, or that there's an issue with me hearing you. And so I had this conversation with God, and as I'm talking to him, the word like robot came to mind, but I didn't pay it much attention. And I don't know why, but I was like, I heard it. It came to my mind. It was like a thought, and it potentially even a response. But like I said, I didn't really pay it much attention, so I kind of just ignored it. So fast forward, I get to her video, and in her video, she talks about this very same topic. And she made a statement, and I'm not going to say it exactly, I'm just going to paraphrase here. But she talks about how when we constantly or always feel a need for God to tell us what to do in every single situation, what to do, where to go, how to do it, then we are actually becoming robotic, not relational. Because the moment we begin to operate in this mindset of, before I do anything, I need God to tell me what to do, how to do it, and so forth. And I believe she was talking about, imagining giving your child instructions, right? How will you, or how will that basically look, right? How will that look if you tell your child to go make up their bed or whatever? Now, in the beginning, yeah, you may have to show them or whatever, but imagine after you've shown them how to make up a bed, and you go tell them to make up a bed, they ask you step-by-step instructions on how to make up a bed, every single time. So as she was talking, I began to think about my own situation, about my own conversations that I've had with God time in and time out, about how I felt like it was really difficult to hear him. And I've even had people who operate in the prophetic tell me that I actually hear him very clearly, that I know his voice, which I agree. But the part I didn't agree with so much, or at least I had doubts about, was, well, why does it seem so difficult to hear him? If I know his voice and I hear him clearly, why does it feel like I'm not hearing him clearly? The trap, and the reason why I'm making this video, is to help you to avoid making the same mistake that I'm making. Because what I realized is that it's all about intention. It's like God told Samuel, man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks on the heart. God always looks at the heart. He always looks at our intention, regardless of what it is, about why we're doing something. My intention was, and again, God knows this, but my intention behind asking God for step-by-step directions, clarity, guidance, and things like that was simply because I was afraid of making mistakes. It wasn't so much out of a relational response with for him or to him, but it was more so for my protection. Not so much for him, or, primarily to be obedient to him, even though, yes, I always want to be obedient to God. I always want to make sure that I'm doing exactly what God has told or called me to do. But the main reason why I was looking for his clarity is because I was afraid of making mistakes. I was afraid of making the wrong decision, the wrong choice. I was afraid that I would make a decision or a choice that would hurt my family. And so I'm asking God, what do I do? Because I was trying to protect myself. And I think so many of us do the same thing. Sure, we love God, if you love him. I think if we're sincere, genuine, and pure, we want to serve him. We want to do the right thing. We want to do the things that are right in his sight. But if we're honest with ourselves, do we want to hear his voice for the wrong reasons? And I think that's the thing that we have to consider. And that's the pitfall or the trap that we have to think about when it comes to hearing his voice. Because again, we can't fool God. And not to say that we're trying to fool God, but he knows the intention and the reasons why. And if our reason for coming to him for something, even if it's to hear his voice, if that is not pure, if it's not right before him, he's under no obligation to speak. As a matter of fact, he's not under no obligation to speak at all, even if our intentions are pure. But having impure or improper intentions for hearing his voice, for getting his guidance, it doesn't help. You know, if those things aren't right. So it's the trap that I fell into. And so now that I'm aware of this, I have to readjust. I have to trust that my relationship with the Lord is strictly just that. It's a relationship. It's a son and a father. And yes, I serve him as my spiritual act of worship. But before I serve him, I'm always a son. And as a son, I have direct access to him through Christ Jesus. And I understand that he loves me. And because of his love for me, he's going to answer me. He's going to guide me. He's going to give me wisdom when I ask for it. With no limitations. With no reservations. And so now, when I approach God, I have to give him space. I have to give him time to answer in his time, not expect it immediately. And even when I'm looking to do things, to make certain decisions, I feel a sense of freedom in this, that if God just so happens to not speak in regards to something and I have to make a decision, that I can freely make the decision. And that even if my decision is a mistake, it's fixable. If it's not a mistake, cool, it works out. But there's freedom in this. There's liberty in this. In that it's okay. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. If it's a life or death situation or something like that, or if it's a decision that's going to lead to like a life or death situation, I trust that God will, give me a heads up, before that time, and that I will hear him. But don't fall into that same trap, the same mistake that I made. Our relationship with the Lord is not robotic, it's relational. And he loves us enough to where he's going to make sure that we get what we need and that we hear him. And if we're willing and we're obedient, we're going to hear his voice. And so, just want to bring you that encouragement. Don't want to keep you guys too long. There's probably much more I could say, but, nothing else is coming to mind right now. So maybe what I said is what needs to be said. So, appreciate you guys. Just, again, wanted to encourage you. So, I hope you're encouraged. I hope the Lord speaks more to this, or more about this, to your spirit. And so let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, email me, whatever. But until next time, this is Terrence with the Kingdom Truth and Power podcast. See you guys later. Peace.